Let's cut the crap. You've clicked on this video because you're tired of being average. You've seen the other videos, haven't you? The ones made by straight A students who've never known what it's like to actually struggle, to stare at a failing grade and feel that pit in your stomach. They tell you to be disciplined, wake up at 5 a.m., make a color-coded schedule. It's hollow advice from people who've never been in the trenches. They've never been on top, hit rock bottom, and then had to claw their way back to the throne. But I have. This isn't another one of those videos. This is a blueprint, a battle plan. This is the system I use to go from the bottom of the pile to the absolute top. This is the blueprint that makes you not just compete, but utterly destroy the competition. It's a blueprint that will make you the top student in your class, the one everyone else looks at and wonders, how do they do it? This is a blueprint that could even give a monster intellect like Ayanokoji from Classroom of the Elite. A run for his money dot now, let's be real. I can't turn you into a flawless, emotionless mastermind with a perfect physique and every girl falling at your feet overnight. But what I can do is give you the keys to unlock those grades you've been dreaming of. I can make academic success feel like a walk in the park. I've broken this master plan into 5 distinct pieces. 5 pillars. If you truly absorb and apply every single one of them, I don't just think you'll become a better student. I guarantee it. So, I need your full attention. Close those other tabs. Put your phone on silent. Stop listening to those lo-fi beats that are just lulling you into a state of comfortable mediocrity. Because out of these 5 pieces, the 4th one is the keystone. It's the one that single-handedly revolutionized my entire academic life and turned me from a failure into a force to be reckoned with. Pay close attention now. Calm down. This doesn't mean you need to learn how to breach firewalls or code in Python, though those are valuable skills. It means you need to learn how to hack the system. The educational system? And what's the most powerful way to hack any system? By analyzing its past data. Think of your exams as battlefields. Would a master strategist like Ayanokoji, or any competent general for that matter, charge onto the battlefield without a map? Without intelligence on the enemy's tactics? Absolutely not. That would be suicide. Yet that's what most students do. They walk into an exam blind out your past exams or your battle maps. They are treasure troves of information, and you've been ignoring them. Here's your mission. Get your hands on every single exam paper from the last 3 years for your subjects. Go to the library, ask senior students, beg your teachers if you have to. Once you have them, spread them out and start your analysis. You're not just looking for questions. You're looking for patterns. You'll start to notice something strange, almost predictable. Questions aren't just repeated. They're recycled. The core concepts are the same, just dressed up in different clothes. You'll see the same patterns, the same types of problems, just with different numbers or scenarios. There's always a core portion of each chapter, a fundamental set of principles. That constitutes 80% of what appears on the test. This is the Pareto principle in action. Right in front of you, this is where you must shift your mindset from a passive student to an active hacker. Look at the concepts that are repeated with obsessive frequency. Figure out what kind of questions the majority of students consistently fail to answer. These are often the trick questions designed to separate the A's from the B's, pinpoint the specific topics that are your teacher's favorite playground, the areas they get excited about in class. After you've done this deep analysis, something magical happens. You'll develop a sixth sense, an intuition for what's going to be on the next exam. You'll have a prototype of the test built in your own mind before you even walk into the room. For a mind like Ayanokoji, this is the definition of efficiency. It's the ultimate expression of studying smarter, not harder. You're no longer wasting time on the fluff. You're targeting the core with surgical precision. But being a hacker isn't just about post-game analysis. It's about real-time intelligence gathering. You need to be faster than a mantis. Your ears need to become finely tuned instruments, catching every hint the teacher drops in class. When a teacher says, "This is important," or "pay close attention to this," or repeats a concept more than once, you don't just underline it. You mark it as a very important principle. This is your teacher literally handing you the answers. Your eyes should be at the back of your head. You need to be aware of your environment. How are the top students studying? What resources are they using? Are they forming study groups? What questions are they asking? There are always small hidden channels on YouTube, obscure websites, or old textbooks that are absolute gold mines for students. It would be incredibly wise to find a few of these and keep them in your back pocket. This isn't cheating. It's giving yourself an unfair advantage in a system that is already a competition. You think the most important part of learning is the moment? You're sitting there, reading the textbook. You believe progress is made when you're highlighting notes and trying to cram information into your brain? You are completely fundamentally wrong. Imagine what you do the second you close that book after a 2-hour study session. Be honest, for most of you, the routine is depressingly similar. You grab your phone, your thumb instinctively opens TikTok, and you start scrolling through an endless feed of meaningless content. Or you lie down on your bed, telling yourself you deserve a break, which turns into an hour of procrastination. Or you fire up Netflix and binge watch a series, flooding your brain with passive entertainment. This is precisely why your brain fails to remember anything you just learned. You spend hours pouring information in, only to open the floodgates and let it all wash away moments later. The period immediately following a study session is the most critical window for memory consolidation. To fix this, you need to lock that information in. You need to slam the door shut and bolt it. Here are 3 powerful methods to do just that. You don't have to do all of them, but doing at least one will sharpen your brain like a razor's edge. First, get an instant adrenaline rush. By the end of a study session, your brain is fatigued. Your neurons are tired. This is your last chance to signal to your brain that the information it just processed is crucial for survival. The best way to do that? A short, intense burst of physical activity. Do a heavy workout. Go for a 5-minute sprint, running as fast as you can without stopping. Push yourself to the absolute limit. This flood of adrenaline and endorphins acts like a chemical stamp on your recent memories. If that's too intense for you. There's another way. Take a cold shower. I'm not talking about a lukewarm, comfortable shower. I mean cold as it gets. The initial shock to your nervous system does incredible things. It improves circulation, sending a rush of oxygenated blood to your brain. More importantly, it triggers a massive release of norepinephrine, a powerful neurotransmitter and hormone directly linked to focus, vigilance, and mental clarity. It's like a hard reset for your nervous system that simultaneously locks in what you've learned. The third method is to inject caffeine into your system strategically. Most students are caffeine abusers. They sip on coffee or energy drinks all day long, building up a tolerance until it has almost no effect. They are amateurs. A top 1% student uses caffeine like a precision weapon to crush their opponents. Here's the strategy. Take a small cup of coffee or tea before you begin your study session. This will help with initial focus. Then, the moment you finish, drink a bigger, stronger cup. This second dose acts as a powerful neurochemical anchor, enhancing memory consolidation and locking in everything you've just studied. Follow this protocol, and your brain won't just be a sponge. It will be a steel trap. This is my favorite part. This is the technique that feels less like studying and more like solving a puzzle. It's the art of chunking. Chunking is the mental strategy of taking vast, overwhelming portions of information and breaking them down into smaller, logical, manageable pieces. Take a look at this number. 7 dot 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 8 dot 1 dot 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 9 dot 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 4 dot dot 5 dot 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 6 dot 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 3. Try to remember it. It looks intimidating, almost impossible to memorize on the spot, right? Your brain sees it as a long, meaningless string. But now look at it like this: 781, 945, 6,203. Suddenly it's not just manageable. It's memorable. It's a phone number. Your brain recognized the pattern. That is chunking dot. But chunking isn't just about splitting the word apple into five separate letters. That's meaningless division. Chunking is about creating a logical narrative, a pattern that flows from a clear start to a clear end. For example, if you're learning about World War I, don't just try to memorize a random list of dates and names. That's inefficient. Instead, create logical chunks. Start with the first chunk, the causes of the war, the complex web of alliances, imperialism, and nationalism. Then move to the next chunk, the beginning, the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand, and the initial invasions. The third chunk, the major effects during the war trench warfare, new technologies, the human cost, and the final chunk, the end of the war, the Treaty of Versailles, and the redrawing of Europe. You've turned a mountain of facts into a four-part story. A master like Ayanokoji takes this even further by using visuals to make his chunks even more memorable. He doesn't just read the words. He imagines what he's reading. He creates a movie in his mind. When he reads about trench warfare, he sees the mud, hears the explosions, feels the tension. This mental visualization dramatically reduces brain overload and makes the process of learning less stressful and far more engaging. Another way to master chunks is by applying the first three rule when you're faced with a long list of facts to memorize, say. The first 10 amendments to the Constitution. Don't try to swallow them all at once. Focus only on the first three. Master them. Recite them from memory. Once they are locked in, and only then move on to the next three. This prevents cognitive overload, but the absolute best way to reinforce your chunks is through active recall. After you've learned a chunk, close the book, put away your notes, and try to explain the concept out loud as if you were teaching it to someone else. Or write down a summary from pure memory. When your brain isn't being passively fed information, it's forced to work. It connects the dots, strengthens the neural pathways, and solidifies the patterns effortlessly. Chunking isn't just a studying technique. It's a fundamental mental strategy to stress less, learn faster, and retain more. Now for the piece that changed everything for me. The concept that separates the amateurs from the professionals, the boys from the men. Raise your ears and listen closely, because this is the key. There's a simple rule to measure the actual work you accomplish. It's an equation, and it accounts for the real work you did, not just the time you spent studying. The equation is this: work accomplished equals level of intensity. Times hours worked. Let's imagine two people, Joe and Rogan. They both need to complete 20 units of work. On the surface, if they both get it done, it seems equal. But who actually made more progress? Who is the more effective human being? You can't answer that yet. Let me explain. Joe works at a level 2 intensity for 10 long hours. He's sitting at his desk, but his phone is buzzing next to him. He's got multiple tabs open. He's easily distracted, a pleasure seeker who can't focus on one thing at a time. He takes long breaks, scrolls social media, and tells himself he's studying for 10 hours. Meanwhile, Rogan works at a level 10 intensity for just 2 hours. From this perspective, who is the superior student? Who has more time to dedicate to other things, to working out, to socializing, to hobbies, while achieving the exact same amount of work? Obviously, it's Rogan. This is the earth-shattering power of intensifying your hours. This concept is also known as deep work. Deep work means you isolate yourself. You find a room, a space where you are completely separated from the rest of the world. Your phone is not just on silent. It's in another room. All notifications are off. It is just you and your work. No distractions. No multitasking. Just pure undiluted focus on the single most important task in front of you. This is the state where real progress is made. This is where you enter the zone. This is where you produce work that is 10 times better in a fraction of the time. Remember this: 20% of your focused activities will generate 80% of your results. The hours you spend in a state of deep work are the 20%. The 10 hours that distracted Joe spent were mostly part of the useless 80%. But here's the catch, and it's a crucial one. You cannot and should not try to go into a deep work state all day. Your brain doesn't have the capacity for it. You'll burn out. Instead, you must turn your work into a series of sprints. I recommend the 50-10 method. Set a timer for 50 minutes and work with absolute monk-like focus. When the timer goes off, you stop. You then take a 10-minute break. During this break, you do not check your phone. You stand up, stretch, walk around, drink some water. Then you get back in for another 50-minute sprint. Set a clock for every single task. A master strategist like Ayanokoji doesn't just focus on the quality of his work. He is obsessed with quantity and efficiency. He makes every single second count. By working in intense timed sprints, you are training your brain to operate at its highest level, on demand. Last, but certainly not least, is the art of resetting your brain. And by reset, I do not mean collapsing on your bed and doom scrolling on TikTok or Instagram. That isn't a reset. That's mental pollution. That's like trying to clean a dirty engine by pouring more sludge into it. A true reset means cooling your brain down, clearing the mental cache, and preparing it for the next round of intense work. And the best way to do this is deceptively simple. Go for a walk, but there are rules. Leave your phone at home. No AirPods, no podcasts, no music. It's just you, your thoughts, and the fresh air. This isn't about exercise. It's about mental decompression. As you walk, you allow your subconscious mind to process the information you've been working on. You'll find that solutions to problems you were stuck on will suddenly appear. Connections will form. It's a period of active recovery for your brain whenever you feel overwhelmed. Tired of pushing yourself to be a better student? I want you to sit down and perform a simple breathing exercise. Take 27 deep, slow breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. After the 27th breath, hold your breath for 15 seconds. Then, repeat the entire process. Do this 2 to 3 times a day. The science behind this is solid. It increases oxygen flow to the brain, and guess what? Your brain's ability to focus can increase by as much as 30%. Not only that, but this type of breathing encourages your body to produce more ATP molecules, the fundamental energy currency of your cells. You are literally generating more energy for your study sessions. And finally, never, ever underestimate the power of sleep. A healthy mind resides in a healthy body. But again, the amateurs get it wrong. They prioritize the quantity of sleep over its quality. A restless, interrupted 7 hours of sleep is far worse than a solid, deep 5-hour sleep. Focus on sleep hygiene. A dark, cool room. No screens an hour before bed. However, I know reality. I know that sometimes you have a gigantic syllabus to cover and exams are just around the corner. In these emergency situations, you can employ the power nap method. This is a trick rumored to be used by geniuses and high performers, even Batman in the comics. It involves breaking your sleep into strategic, short intervals. Instead of one long block, you take multiple 30-minute power naps throughout the day. With this method, it's possible to get the restorative equivalent of 8 hours of energy in just 4 hours of total sleep. This is an extreme measure for extreme circumstances, but it's a powerful tool to have in your arsenal. Listen to me. The world is becoming weaker. People are getting softer. And the gap between the rich and the poor, the successful and the mediocre, is getting wider every single year. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody cares about your excuses or your New Year's resolutions unless you have the results to back them up. A resolution means nothing if you're just a small man with a big mouth. I want you to make this year, starting today, the best year of your life. I've given you the blueprint. The tools are in your hands. The question is, what are you going to do with them? Are you going to click off this video and go back to your old habits? Or are you going to stand up, declare war on your own mediocrity, and start building the future you deserve? The choice is yours.